And of course, they have a new vegan omega-3 that is that's really, really cool because it's sustainably grown and harvested in their own little algae ponds.
Cool.
And they produce it, so it's very clean, very, very clean. You don't have to worry about any mercury or anything like that, like you do in a lot of other fish oils or krill oils.
Especially important for any women listening that are vegan, vegetarian, but need a fish oil because they're pregnant or wanting to get pregnant.
Yes.
Highly recommend that.
Highly, yes. And Jolene knows her stuff. So, and then they have another one, magnesium liquid. So many people walk around magnesium deficient. And like we talked about with Dr. Brighten, if you're on birth control, you absolutely need to supplement with a good magnesium liquid. And it's got a couple other ingredients in it as well. I don't have it in front of me. I actually let a friend of mine borrow it that was sick, and I haven't gotten it back yet. So
you're not getting it back, right?
I need to order another one. Well, and I gave one to Aviana too. So I gave one to her of all three. So, but check them out at sunwarrior.com. It's a great company. And of course, Squatty Potty, the original squat to poop toilet stool, and the H-Hemp Company. Visit them at hemp.com. Their H-Hemp, their hemp oil is made only with premium cannabinoid genetics, not anything with any contaminants or GMOs or anything like that. It's a really good MCT tincture. So check them out at the hempcompany.com. And of course, Paleo Magazine and the Wellbeing Journal are both in digital and print. Where did I see one yesterday? Because I'm always trying to figure out where they sell them. I think I saw the Wellbeing Journal at Whole Foods. So check it out. Wellbeing Journal has been out there for a long time, heralding the integration of medicine with physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and social aspects of health. It is a great publication, and you can get it both in print and digital version. So go to order online at wellbeingjournal.com, and same with Paleo Magazine, paleomag.com. So we're continuing this conversation about the science on fasting. Is fasting for everyone? And so I'll ask you this. Can fasting be dangerous?
I think it can be dangerous. I mean, especially for people who go into it with some sort of a condition that's not being regulated. Like we said in the beginning, your blood sugar kind of rides on a low threshold. Your blood pressure kind of rides on low threshold. You're on multiple medications. And I think it's dangerous for people who aren't eating enough to begin with, and then they think because either they want to lose weight or they think because they want to get healthy, they're going to cut calories even further and fast. That's dangerous, because if you roll into fasting already malnourished, fasting isn't going to fix that.
Yep.
Also, definitely if you're pregnant or nursing, you shouldn't be fasting. I don't believe kids and teens should be fasting. And so I think it's, almost for everybody, but you need to know, what's going on with your body and talk to a professional about it before you embark on any strategy with fasting. To be honest.
Yeah, and you need to listen to your body. As I was listening to you in the last segment and what you were saying, it occurred to me that I should have listened to my body. Maybe I should have eaten something this morning because I wasn't feeling well. I was exposed to strep throat over the weekend, ran myself ragged, and so my immune system was probably a little compromised, and I ate very light last night. So that would make sense why I would wake up this morning being hungrier than I typically would be when I regularly intermittent fast. And
eating one day during the week in a time when you're normally fasting isn't like the ketogenic diet where you're thrown out of ketosis and everything goes haywire.
Yeah.
That's not what's happening here.
Right.
You're just nourishing your body during a time when you normally might not be eating, but you just kind of keep going with what you're doing. You don't stop. That's something I've said. You just keep going. And so it's not like you're throwing yourself out of some sort of ketosis is the only example I can think of, and you have to start over. That's not what fasting per se is really all about.
Well, in your opinion, is there one type of fasting that most people out there listening can do safely?
So I really think that most of us should be doing time-restricted fasting. We should be shutting the kitchen down sometime in between 6 and 8 p.m.
Right.
And we should be opening it up sometime the next morning, again, depending upon if you're a man or a woman and what your schedule looks like, somewhere between, 8 and noon. Just depends on what your feeding window is going to be. Are you going to follow the 8 or 12, feeding window? I think women shouldn't really fast much longer than 12 or 14 hours because our hormones are extremely sensitive to the amount of energy coming into our body. And so I think men do longer with a longer fasting period. Women, I think, need most women need a shorter fasting period so that we don't mess with our hormones. Dr. Jolene Brighten is brilliant in this area. If we don't get enough energy into our body, it automatically starts to adjust as women to protect for the natural settings that we have, that we might be procreating that month. And we need to, hold on to energy for that. And so just, monitor yourself as a woman who's going to fast and find your strategic eating window. It may be that you eat breakfast, but you close the kitchen down even earlier, like at 5, or maybe that you shift it back. You can go without breakfast. You can hydrate. You can have, a cup of tea, and then you maybe eat a late breakfast, early lunch at 10, and you shut the kitchen down at 7, something like that. And so you have to play around with that. It shifts up 1 or 2 hours in either way. But I like, a good 14 to 16 hour window for men and somewhere around 12 or 14 for women. 14 seems to be a good sweet spot for most women. Well,
I heard a conversation that I had when I was down in Hempstead over the weekend. A bunch of guys were sitting around the bar talking about intermittent fasting, and all this, keto stuff and everything, because it's so popular. And somebody was saying, asking questions about intermittent fasting, and the person responding said, "Well, you can pretty much eat anything you want once you break the fast, if you will." I said, "No, that's not true. You shouldn't just eat anything. I mean, at any time, we should always be choosing good foods that are nutrient rich and create a satiety, so that you're not when you shut the kitchen down, if you will, you're not still hungry, right? Eating a bunch of carbs that quickly are burned."
Super fascinating study that just came out this week within the last few days. 2 groups of people, double-blind, placebo-controlled, matched for the exact same calorie intake. One was eating processed foods. One was eating whole foods, if we're going to categorize it like that. The people eating processed foods ate the same amount of calories, but because the foods were processed, all of their health markers were through the roof. So to your point, the fasting data does kind of show, it's the fasting portion that does the magic, but we have to pay attention to what we're eating during the window. We can't fool ourselves into think we can eat fast food and tons of processed food and reap all the health benefits of fasting.
Yeah.
It may help some people to do that initially. Like if you're really addicted to fast food and processed food because they program it for you to become addicted to it,
right?
And you start shutting the kitchen down at 7 when you would normally eat till 10. Initially, you will get benefit from that, but over time, you're going to have to improve the food that you're eating during your eating window. You're not going to be able to get away with eating processed foods for a very long time.
Yeah, it's so bad for the body, like so bad, because your body needs those nutrients. It's right, and I mean, it will find it by overeating or whatever it takes to get what it needs.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, they're processed to be addictive. I mean, this studying is fascinating. It just came out. I think I saw it on a variety of influencers. Instagrams over the last video. I think Max Lugavere posted something about it. It's just really fascinating. What you eat matters, but fasting is really powerful. So if you feel like you can't change what you're eating right now, the first thing you can do is just shut the kitchen down 7, 8 p.m., maybe even 6, depending on your lifestyle. And then, back up your breakfast just a little bit, 8, 9 o'clock, and let your body have that longer period of time to regenerate, to heal, to get your blood sugar and insulin down, to regulate your inflammation. And one of the coolest things is just boost the levels of all the things that protect our brain. I think that's one of the most important things we can be doing for our brain is fasting.
I love that you talk about Max Lugavere. I'm going to give another shout out for his book, Genius Foods, because this guy did 10 years of research. He's not bought and paid for by anyone. I love the guy. He's so honest. It's amazing in today's world to have a guy like that out there trying to educate us. We'll have to get him back on again. He's been on a couple of times.
His book is so good. There's so much stuff.
His book is so good. Just get out. Go get a copy. Genius Foods, Max Lugavere. Everyone, thank you so much for listening. I'm going to go eat a sandwich. And you know why? Because you get one body, you get one mind, and you get one life. Get out there and eat a sandwich.